I think Alliance, it's okay, but your heroes are really weak. Like, you don't really have an easy hero that can frontline for Alliance's team. So what that usually means is when it comes to like the straight up engagements, like 5v5. Oh, I messed up. I messed up for us, Owen.
Oh, you done well.
I've accidentally moved the screen. I think we're good. I think we're good.
What did you move? What did
It's
you do?
dual. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I think when you're playing.
Have you wrecked the stream, Will? No, we're fine. I'm watching the stream's fine.
We're good now. We're good now. All right. So what ends up happening though?
Yeah.
Is when you play a lineup like Alliances, and you get behind early. What ends up happening is because you have no frontliner, you have to rat. And if you get into a 5v5 engagement and you're not winning the early game, you get destroyed.
30 seconds to battle.
Okay. So Mineski's game plan.
Just run at them.
Just run at them.
Yeah, you honestly, here's what you do. You try to win the laning phase, you try to get your Slardar Blink Dagger, then you immediately go for the Roshan, and then just 5-man. I look at a hero like Undying, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be great for that.
Yeah. The thing though is that I guess the way that I've heard it done best to beat the Undying is just to split push. Like, never engage into it directly. Because when it comes to just the team fights, if you just 5-man at this hero, you get destroyed. And everybody knows that, right? I think it was Fnatic versus EG. I rewatched the VOD for that. And usually when EG runs out Undying, it's like one of their favorite heroes. Like, Fear plays it all the time.
He loves playing it.
But what they did, if you notice Fnatic, it doesn't sound that complicated, but it's neat, is they just completely ignored the Undying, right? Like, they just split push like crazy. So the Undying is a hero in that kind of game where he's got no disable, you can't lock down the anti-mage, and you just kind of sit there and you're just like, what am I supposed to do with the next 30 minutes of the game?
And look at this, I love the lane matchups we've got. So on the top lane, you've got that solo off lane Slardar up against the solo safe lane Bulldog Prophet. Down on the bottom, that's where the action is. We're going to have a bit of a tri-lane on tri-lane. And I guess this is, is this Alliance just trying to deal with the Huskar? Or what is the plan? What's going on down there? And who's coming out on top in your eyes?
If you notice, every team that plays against, I don't actually know if you've seen, but every team that's played against Husk so far at this tournament has gone for the aggro try. The Husk at this phase is not very strong, actually. But something I do want to point out is that every single time, they haven't had an Undying in their tri-lane. So oftentimes it'll be like Husk plus like 2 useless heroes, like Dazzle plus Tusk. And what are those heroes going to do for a Huskar, right? When you're against an aggro tri-lane? But in this one, they've got one of the best aggro tri-lane heroes in the game, a defensive hero, and Husk. So now this is a lot more balanced. The Mineski kind of have a better idea of how to run this, I feel.
Yeah, we're seeing already just the Undying running in with the Decay and the Burning Spears. It's a lot of damage that Alliance have to be careful about. But so if we see them get the first few levels there onto their heroes on this lane, they should be able to deal with it and have a chance of finding that farm for loaded down there. Top lane so far, Bulldog, he's 10 for 4 up against the 6 for 1, so already having a bit of a favourable time compared to the Slardar, who's actually leaving the lane here. He's going to be able to find a haste rune at the top of the river, so we'll see if is able to do anything with that. He's level 3 at the moment, 2 points in the crush. And we'll see if that's going to be the case. He's just going to make his way back up top, maybe give it a bit of an action towards the Prophet. Oda just trading hits here with Jesse, and they'll throw the cast out as well, trying to force him back, but the heal's there. Cuckoo as well, moving forward with the Burning Spears and stacking up onto Ake with that Decay. We are seeing that Alliance are having to play very, very careful down here. Nuts, he's trying to go in, and another snowball onto Cuckoo. Maybe they can get this one. The heal's going to be there, the Grave as well. So Cook will be able to walk off, and now the tombstone dropped in Alliance. They're losing life incredibly fast. Loader at the moment, he should go down as well. It's going to be 2 kills for the side of Mineski. And some really nice play, as you said, Will. This tri-lane from Mineski just seems to be able to play around what Alliance are throwing them so damn well.
Imagine if they had any other hero but Undying there. Did they win that fight? No. So that's why I go for the aggressive tri-lane, because if you notice, the Huskar doesn't actually tank very much, with only the single level of the Berserker's Blood. But the problem is, if you just let him free farm, in a game like this where they're going to 5-man anyways, and then the Slardar just kind of sits back and waits, you're probably going to just lose around the 20-minute mark. So what they try to do is go for the aggro tri-lane. They make the right move because you want to try to go on the Huskar before he's level 5 or level 6 where he just kind of stomps you, but you can't because there's an Undying in the game, and all he does is lay down Tombstone, and we talked about this before the draft too, right? Look how squishy that lineup is. They've got a Drow, a Witch Doctor, and a Tusk Tri-Lane. All of those heroes combined for like 1200 HP.
I mean, you know the way Mineski have done it? Do you think Mineski anticipated this in the draft and they were saying, right, Alliance are going to go aggressive against our Huskar, we need to have a lane that's going to be able to destroy them and crush it?
Yeah, I think so, because this is the third Huskar game I've casted in the last 2 days.
And it's always drawn
It's always been aggro tri-lane. The aggro tri-lane destroys the Huskar, then the game just ends because you've devoted so many resources to that defensive tri-lane, and you can't do anything because it's a level 1, level 2 Huskar that dies almost immediately. It's not a hero that has a stun or anything like that.
But on the top lane, Bulldog still able to maintain pretty nice control. And mid lane as well, so S4 just running out the shackles here onto Potato that is raging, and training hits here with S4. Getting back.
I just realized this is the first time I'm ever casting with you.
It is!
It is, ever.
Isn't it beautiful? Look?
Yeah, it really is.
And the last time. I'll be getting Cinder back after this one.
Alright. So, Bulldog is just kind of threatened out. Doesn't really do anything.
Cuckoo. It should be fine. Loader's trying to move in. You just get one of the slows in, but it's very hard to go on when Dazzle and Undying are around the corner. And yeah, I want to say on the top lane, I mean, hats off to Slardar, because we saw earlier Bulldog with the edge, but Slardar's totally caught up in terms of farm, and he's now equal in terms of CS to the Nature's Prophet.
And you gotta think about how scary this is for Alliance right now, because...
Okay, did get the cask out, and he's trying to turn onto Cuckoo, but Cuckoo just turns onto him with the Grave as well. Cuckoo showing no fear. And that's a third kill here for this safe lane, tri-lane of Mineski.
And pinging him. Oh, how do you even go though?
Is under attack.
I mean, this is the thing. If this is happening to you as Alliance, what do you do with these heroes that were down here? Where can you send them to make them more useful?
You gotta eventually swap lanes. Like, Bulldog probably just goes to the jungle if you don't feel comfortable sending him to the bottom lane, but you can just kind of essentially call this experiment like a loss overall. Because even though Cuckoo doesn't have a lot of last hits, he's gotten what he needs to. And probably more importantly than that, the Slardar has gotten way more than he needs to. If you think about it, compare Slardar versus a Nature's Prophet, if they have the exact same farm in the early game, the Slardar is 20 times more effective, right?
Okay. He's going to throw out the cast. He does have S4 there with him as well, but the Quap will blink away. They get the crush onto Arcade, and Arcade's in a lot of trouble. They've got level 6, they have the Amplify, and he just melts there to the physical damage of them both. Fourth pick off there for the side of Mineski. He's trying to walk in, he's not going to throw the stun straight up. Potato will now blink away. Just the level 1 snowball, so realizing it wouldn't be enough damage to disperse the Quap. But again, Mineski are having a pretty nice time in terms of finding kills across the map 6 minutes in.
Yeah.
And there's your lane swap you're talking about, Will.
They were about to kill S4 too.
Yeah.
He had Scream and Ultimate up, but he just didn't want to hard commit. Because if you're in a position like this where you're dominating so hard, what is the point of going for a 1-for-1 trade where you let the Tusk get back into the game, or you give Bulldog a little bit more gold if he gets the last hit? So don't even bother. But you have to swap lanes like this because, as is, you're not doing enough to slow down the Huskar.
It's a nice shackle onto Jules. They'll try and go for it. Again, he gets the shallow grave off, and Cuckoo just turns. They will kill the Huskar, and that is a big kill. It goes to S4, and S4 in fact gets the double kill. And you talk about Alliance doing something to get themselves back in. That's going to be it. Rotating S4 down to the bottom lane, ending the man's life who's been having a great time so far, and picking up a second kill on top of it as well.
It's going to push him to the top of the net worth chart, I believe.
Are fortified.
And it does, but the thing that you're still worried about if you're Alliance is just how well the lanes overall still have gone for Mineski, because we talked about it before, right? Is that the Huskar doesn't need to have an amazing start. It's just that the getting to the mid game in an okay position, and look at this gank at top. They set this up so well.
Someone's got to come up for an alpha, but it's not going to be there in time. Too much damage there from the Slardar and the Undying combination. And I mean, Lodi just melts to those two heroes at this point. He's so squishy on that Drow Ranger.
And everybody at this point would melt to it.
Yeah.
The Wind Ranger would be able to survive during the time of the Wind Run. Aside from that, if you look at Alliance's heroes, they have no frontliner. So anytime they get into an engagement, it's pretty much do or die. You're not going to run away from a Slardar plus a Queen of Pain, right? So what I would pay attention to now is whether or not Alliance actually go for 5-on-5 engagements. You're probably just going to see them split push and look for off angles to try to get like 1 or 2 pickoffs. But you never, at some point, you're just not going to want to 5-man against Mineski's lineup. You're just gonna make the game as frustrating as possible. And I mean, you cast a lot of Dream League. Bulldog is definitely capable of making this game annoying as all hell.
Yeah, absolutely. There's kind of already a lot of pressure on Bulldog to perform here. And on one of his signature heroes, there's no doubt that there is every chance in the book that he can pull it out. In terms of his build, he's going to be going for that Orchid first on the Nature's Prophet to help him try and contribute to getting these kills and pickoffs across the map. And Alliance actually focusing a lot of attention towards the top lane. You've got 5 of their heroes coming up here. They'd love to try and get the Slardar, but I think they realize that everyone's missing off the map, and Mineski playing this very, very smartly, backing themselves up. And even with the smoke, S4 isn't going to be able to close the gap unless Slardar comes back out with this next creep wave.
Ping Cuckoo like crazy. They're saying, just get back, because they know for a fact there's a smoke. This is the timing that you would do it. The thing that makes it even more obvious than everybody's off the map is, A, you're showing Ake solo top. Nobody's mid. And when you're showing a hero like this, oftentimes it's like, if you have all 5 heroes missing off the map, then you know something's up. So this is like the next most obvious way is you show one hero, you bait it out, you think it's not obvious, but you are behind. If you just look at the net worths, they are a little bit behind, so they're trying to make something happen because you have to. Look at what Loda was what he was forced to do. He was using Nature's Prophet's, one of his trees, to tank up the neutral camps for him so he could see us. This is not efficient or fast as a carry. Look at his net worth right now, it's 2,400. He's not getting what he needs in the lane.
And he's going for the triple Wraith Band build at the moment, just to help buff up the rest of his team, help them with the CS and their kind of fighting potential. Armlet is now done on the Huskar 10 minutes in, so he's certainly becoming quite a big deal. At this point, who do you send down to that bottom lane to deal with him? You can't just send 1 or 2 heroes, you've got to send pretty much 3, surely, if you want to try and go for a kill attempt on Huskar.
You continue to let Bulldog farm the jungle, and you send one of your supports.
Okay.
And you can't send the Witch Doctor because he'll die, yeah. You almost always send one of your supports there, because if you look at most teams' lineups, they'll have one hero that can just like spam out a spell to drag the creep wave in. Oftentimes, for example, if it's like AA plus Winter Wyvern, which are 2 really defensive heroes, you'll just send the Winter Wyvern to Arctic Burn, drag the creep wave back, soak XP. The Tusk is going to kind of accomplish the same thing. As soon as this creep wave dies at bottom, then
Bulldog.
Nuts will do the same.
Nice. Yeah, he's just teasing there with the TP. I was going to say he's going to follow through now. In fact, Cuckoo just jumps straight forward onto Nuts. There'll be the snowball to buy some time to try and turn. Dazzle is going to be there with a grave if needed, and it will come out. They'll look to turn onto Nuts and they'll take him down. That's the Tusk on. Jesse Bash is there as well. S4 with the focus fire, trying to bring down Cuckoo, but he's got the armlet toggling. Meanwhile, Loda goes down on the top lane to the aggression of Raging Potato and Real, and they're going to maybe look for more. They're moving in. Ake's on his own. They've got the Amplify out. Bulldog's going to turn up, but no, again, it's just teasing the TPs. He's looking for the right opening, trying to get in to help his teammate, and he'll get out the Sprout, but the Blink out's there. They take down Ake. It's a double kill for Raging Potato on the crop, and he may even look for Bulldog. They've got the Amplify down. Real's thinking about coming back in, but the TP is going to be inbound from Nuts on the Tusk, and that will slow down the aggression from Mineski. But once again, Mineski just finding so much on both the bottom and the top lanes at the same time, and that is your Blink Dagger done on the Slardar, and that is going to be a huge problem for Alliance's lineup.
That was such a smart smoke gank by the Queen of Pain, because he understands that Loda is getting frustrated with just sitting in the jungle, and he realizes, Loda thinks to himself, if I don't show in the lane, and I just farm out this jungle, it's going to be slow as hell and we're going to lose anyways. I just have to chance the lane. So he goes to the lane, Raging Potato immediately just buys a smoke, blinks up there, you know, it's the freest kill in the world, and things don't get easier. And Mineski's got a Blink Dagger on their Slardar. When you looked at this group initially, by the way, for most people's minds, like, they thought that Mineski was just going to get destroyed, but here they are. They're playing so well right now.
Yeah, they're really dealing with what Alliance has brought to the board this game. Just 9 for 2, 12.5 minutes in. At the moment though, S4 still certainly hanging in there. He's second on the net worth, he hasn't died at all. So he's playing a very careful and calculated game here on that Wind Ranger. On lane, Bulldog, top lane, sorry, with Nuts, coming in with the push. I'll look to try and take a tier 1 here with the help of Ake as well. Getting just anything that they can across the map at the moment is really going to help them try and close that gap that Mineski have managed to get ahead with them. And S4 just with the DD, putting some pressure onto the middle tower. It's got to be careful though, because there is that Slardar hanging around with that Blink.
S4 is like the one lone bright spot for his team right now, because he does have a lot of farm and he can kill people still. And once he gets his Aghanim Scepter, the solo kill potential is there. But if you notice, they're just doing as much as they can to not get into straight engagements. you know, split up the map as much as you can. Everyone makes that rat Dota joke or whatever, but this is going to be a split push game. Because unless you have a numbers game, you're almost never going to just want to directly fight 5-on-5 into Mineski's lineup. But at some point, it's not really going to matter, because what Mineski are going to try to do, Owen, is they're going to look for this timing where they go for the Roshan, and then they just make it so you can't ignore them anymore. Like, they'll just take a bunch of tier 2s in a row, and then at that point you'll think to yourself, well, what are we actually gaining out of this? Like, they have the amplified damage plus a Huskar. Sorry I keep saying chat. Huskar. Look at this. 13, 14 minutes in.
Yeah, into the Roche pit. And Alliance, I mean, even if they were aware that it's going on,
they know
they can do
100%.
anything. I mean, they're trying to head over, but already Slarnite just coming straight out, making it aware that they know that Alliance know. There'll be a shackle, but it's just off the illusion. Shards do come out. It's going to trap Cuckoo in the pit.
They're getting really low.
But I don't think it's low enough for Alliance to do anything.
No, you can't fight into this. Not with the tombstone down up like that.
Oh, Bulldog, he's in a lot of trouble here potentially. Tries to turn, reels fairly low. And he's going to get the crush off. They'll get themselves over the tree line there with the scream. And a dominating streak now for Raging Potato on this Queen of Pain. And it's pretty much just going bad to worse for Alliance at this moment, 15 minutes in.
Yeah, I don't really know what you're supposed to do as Alliance anymore. Again, you have to go for the split push, but they're just getting picked off more than they should. And now the game is just completely opened up for Mineski. All they have to do is keep this kind of aggression up. Look for trades as much as you can in terms of like being able to get a hero and then immediately take the tower. Look how underfarmed the Drow is still. Loda's not having the best time of it.
He's trying to make the best of the bad worlds here, really, just in the jungle with that mask, just trying to farm up as safely as he can. I mean, you keep saying it's going to be potentially all about the rat Dota here for Alliance. Bulldog's nearly got the Orchid done. In terms of the build, so S4 with the point booster, saving up the God as well. I imagine he is still going to go for the Ags first. Is he thinking about other things, maybe getting a Blink to avoid some of the action that Mineski throws at them, or is that not going to be the item now?
I think you go Ags in the Blink there.
Just Ags
100%.
first, yeah. I mean, do you think we could see a very early Blink as well? Well, not an early, but a Blink earlier on in Loader's progression as well, so we can also look for maybe those side pushes, those split pushes.
I don't know if I would get one on him,
Okay.
because at that point it would be, you have to fight Mineski at some point, and I think it's almost guaranteed that he needs a BKB against the heroes that they have. Otherwise, the starter just blink crushes him, and they kill him in less than 3 seconds.
I mean, one thing you've got to look at it and say is that Alliance are still taking objectives. They've taken all the 3 tier 1s from the side of Mineski, so they're on the same level as Mineski in terms of the map control. They're putting a little bit of a pressure onto this bottom lane, but Mineski are going to come in with a reaction. S4 is in the sidelines, and he's got a TP. He's been silenced up there. There's no chance of escape for this man. They'll use the Sonic Wave to make sure that the Wind Ranger goes down. 11th kill on the board, and Raging Potato has been having quite a performance here on this Queen of Pain, being everywhere that he needs to be, all across the map.
Yeah, and they're doing the right idea of it, because what they do is they're sending their hero that's pretty much unkillable up at top, and they send the Queen of Pain, because you can't just allow Bulldog and S4 to just split push, right? You have to punish that at some point, and they immediately go for the punish. Like, they leave the 2 heroes behind that aren't 100% necessary to the push. Because what will the Slardar bring, right? He's your catch hero. You don't necessarily need him to hit the tower. All you need is your Huskar.
On top lane, the tier 2. It looks like it will go down because Alliance aren't going to look to defend this one. So Mineski will be able to claim themselves another tower. More gold into the pocket there of the Huskar. And in terms of his build, what's got the helm, the armlet, 1500 gold. He's looking very, very scary at this moment in time, nearly touching onto that level 11. I mean, what does he go for now as his next item, just to add to the unkillability here of this beast?
Heaven's Hubbard, or a lot of people go for the medallion into the, what is that called?
Solar Crest?
Yeah, Solar Crest. In a game like this, you probably just let your Dazzle get it. Evasion is really big though, especially against heroes like
look at this man, he just jumped straight
Okay,
forward.
Cuckoo.
He's ready to go. And Alliance is spooked by that one, straight back up to the high ground.
What they lose their courier for? It's the Aghanim Scepter for S4.
That is not ideal.
They definitely saw that. Just,
Yeah.
You gotta go now, Mineski.
That is big. 3 minutes without that Aghanims that S4 just completed. Alright. This is go time for Mineski.
boy.
Oh, and here we go, straight up, amplifying crush onto Loader. Weaver's going to start to build up. Shackle's not going to latch here from S4. And he's ready to go back in potentially. Bulldog is looking for that Bulldog play though. He's on the bottom lane trying to put pressure onto the tier 2. S4 moving in, trying to get the clicks in. There's now a mech on the Undying as well here if Mineski want to try and really force the issue. They do. Look at this, jumping straight in with the crush onto 2 there. The Slardar gets himself back out of the base. Now Cuckoo moving forward. Meanwhile, Raging Potato, he's dealt with the wrap. Bulldog's down on the bottom lane and he's dead for 40 seconds. Mineski just sticking as a 4-man here. They're going to be shortly joined by the Quaff, who's going to make her way back up, and they're jumping forward. Cuckoo forcing S4 back. The Windrun comes out. He's got to create this distance between himself. And look how low he's staying. He's fine. He's okay. The Shackle's there. The Shallow Grave comes out. Cuckoo's still going to be fine. He's going to try and fight, and he will. Look at Loader just melting. Cuckoo goes one, and this man, look at his arm and toxic. He's looking for more, tries to get active. Then we approach. He's still not. Still alive. Now he goes down. He's got the Aegis. He got the double kill as the Burning Spears did bring down Ake, and he's ready for round 2. S4 tries to get the Shackle out. It's not going to latch. He does get the silence out from them, but now the crush from Rihanna to 2. They're looking for more. S4's going to go down. Raging Potatoes jump forwards. There's 3 on the deck at the moment for the side of Alliance. Bulldog will finally be back up. This is a lot of aggression from the side of Mineski. They're not finding the mid racks at the moment though. Snowball comes out for nuts. It's really nice if they can find it. They get the punch out, the silence as well. Raging Potato with the Soul Rip, the Shallow Grace there. Rhea with the 2-man crush. The fight's going to continue. It's going to go the way of Mineski. That's going to be nuts down. They'll look for Loader as well, and he almost certainly will fall. And he does indeed the Soul Burn damage the Orchid. Raging Potato now a wicked 6 streak. And now Mineski, they turn back towards the objectives. They'll take the mid racks here. 20 minutes in, and Alliance still with 3 heroes not ready to fight. So, okay, you've got to be careful because Slardar, he can smell you and he wants you. He'll jump straight in if Ake comes any closer. Bulldog is there as well, just sending out the treants. But Mineski, they've turned the heat up, and Alliance, they're not used to it.
No, you generally don't see this kind of aggression, especially in Europe. And this is just kind of telling Alliance, you can't pick these kinds of heroes against us. You can't pick heroes that can't 5-man. You've got a ton of physical damage, sure, but where's your team fight? Where's your setup? How many reliable stuns do you actually have on your team? You have a Nature's Prophet, so your offlaner isn't one that can control the game. Your carry is one of the most paper carries in the game. And both of your supports combine after 1 decay for 1000 HP.
This Huskar has got an Assault Grass finished if he wants. 20 minutes in.
No, this...
Yep.
I know people hate it when commentators, you know, they ruin the game and stuff like that, but as long as Mineski play as they have been playing,
look at that lead.
There's almost no chance that Alliance come back. And I'm only highlighting this to show you how goddamn impressive this is.
This is some really impressive stuff from Mineski.
I haven't seen Alliance manhandled this bad since
wow.
Apparently their last series, but I didn't see that. So
I didn't see the last
in a
series
while.
either, actually.
It's been a while for me.
Oh, and the Greaves are done on Undying as well. Some big pickups here for the side of Mineski. Well, let's see what the game plan is. Alliance going for a bit of a YOLO smoke here. They know they need to find something. I mean, any pickup they can get, Jesse, but he is going to have that Greaves to remove the silence, and right, here we go. Shackle comes out first, though. You can't remove that, buddy, Jim, and the Death Ward's going to make work of that. There'll be a crush onto S4, so they did find a kill here, Alliance, bringing it to 317, so it's something, but Mineski, they're not happy. Their Jim is a Russell, they want to fight. S4 throws at the Shackle, gets it onto Raya. Lotus there as well. Can they kill the Slardar? That's a big kill if they can, and they can. Slardar's going to go down. This might be it for Alliance, but Cuckoo, he's finally turned up. He takes down the Nature's Prophet. Quant's incredibly low, has to get himself out, but this maybe is the thing. The crash from bouncing from Ake. Cuckoo's going to get held in place here. The Sonic Wave comes through, but it's going to be with Raging Potato. Sonic Wave's his own team. It's not a heal, it's a damaging spell. You fall, and now Huskar, he's still going to be there. It doesn't matter though, they missed the Sonic Wave. It's still a clean up for Cuckoo. He's found himself a triple kill. Nuts should go down as well here in the pit. Jules will finish that one off. So Alliance, even though they find some kills, it's still not great. S4 is still alive with the focus fire onto Cuckoo. Bulldog coming back in with the Sprout. There's your Orchid. Can they kill him? The toggle's there. Jules throws down the Shallow Grave. Now they'll turn. They'll look for Bulldog here in the pit. He's trying to turn and fight Cuckoo. S4, can he do it? Can he do it? I don't know if he can. He's trying his best here. Bless him, but the heals are there. Cuckoo with the armlet toggling. S4 goes down. It's a double kill for Cuckoo. This man's a monster.
That was the best possible fight that you could have had as Alliance, because the second most useful hero in the game misses his level 3 ult completely, and it doesn't even matter. It actually doesn't even matter.
My goodness.
Yeah,
and that was a dieback from Bulldog as well.
You have to take that though, because that's your best chance that you're going to kill Cuckoo, but he's got 30 armor. Like, who cares if the Wind Ranger has an Aghanim Scepter when you've got a Dazzle who positioned himself perfectly? Because that's the issue, is every single time they try to kill the Huskar, he just sits back, grave after grave. I think I counted 3 in there alone.
This synergy between him and Dazzle, just as a team, they've been working perfectly, keeping each other alive. I mean, Jesse Vash as well with the Soul Rips. This kind of tri-lane, I'll be honest, has just been the standout performance here. I mean, obviously Raging put to Anderson, I mean, the whole team, but the way that these guys have worked together has been quite incredible.
Yeah, this actually is such an impressive performance, and you know, I'm a huge Alliance fan. A lot of bias, but
I'm making a Reddit thread, Blitz.
I think you're allowed to admit if you have bias, but I mean, the way that I've been casting this game has definitely been in favor of Mineski just because of how fun this is to watch.
Yeah, this is just real
good
action
Dota
from Mineski.
Invisibility.
Alright, here we go. Alliance are going to go for another attempt here. Jules, he's got an invis rune here, and this might catch Alliance off guard if they try and jump on Cuckoo. I think they know. Killing this man is not going to be an easy feat at all. And S4, oh my goodness, he's going to have to change his underwear after that one. Blink out just in time.
Alliance are kind of making these fights close, but something that we should always look at is, are they making any strides when they're getting these fights? Like, are their cores actually getting any farm? The Witch Doctor's kind of close to his Aghanim Scepter, but Bulldog had to slow down a ton of his farm just because he had to buy back for that one. And probably most importantly, Loda's net worth is nearly extinct at this point.
Oh, and S4, I think, no, the mech's going to save him. Okay, can they turn to get the silence out? But there's the crush for Rio. He looks to try to S4, but S4 gets the wing run off. He might be able to survive for this. The death was there as well. The focus fire, they'll take down Slaughter. S4's going to be able to live through that one. And Alliance somehow working as a team to keep S4 alive. They get the kill on Slaughter. And it is little picks like this that keep Alliance in the game, Will.
Yeah, I mean, go them. That actually made things kind of okay for the side of Alliance, because yeah, you were going to give up the Roshan anyways, but getting 2 kills, keeping S4 alive, that's probably the biggest thing. So S4 has a blink now. The Nature's Prophet continues to try to split push the map, but somebody from Mineski is always there, and they're just not allowing him any sort of room.
S4, he'd love to chase down Jules it. No, he's not going to be able to. Okay.
Jules is tanky in his own right now. He's got the Solar Crest, the item that we talked about a lot of Huskars getting, but
he puts down the Huskar, and the Huskar's got a bloody halberd, Will.
Yeah, there's no MKB coming anytime soon from any of the 3 range cores.
It's terrifying. Oh, I mean, Alliance are certainly keeping themselves in this. Only just, as Mineski are certainly the dominating force at this point. Alliance are going to have to play this one very, very smartly. I mean, by any means, if there was ever a team to play from behind and manage to turn it, Alliance are certainly going to be up there, but
you fools,
this is going to be quite something.
They had to go through TI3. You think this is anything? No. The TI3 Finals Game 5? That was a comeback. They could do this. All they have to do is, here's all that has to happen. The cask has to bounce between the Huskar and the Dazzle,
okay,
like 8 times. You get a really good Witch Doctor ultimate off, full duration.
He's closing in on the Axe Cannon as well, okay.
And you have to shackle it doesn't matter what hero it is, you have to shackle a hero to the Dazzle.
Alright, now how do they kill the Huskar in the midst of all of this?
You gotta...
Okay, crush onto 2, jump straight forward from Cuckoo. He's looking for the easier kill, trying to go for Arcade. The cask is there, holding him back, bouncing between them all. The shackle did latch onto it, but it does force Alliance right back loaded. Now gets the silence out, but the blink is there already from Slaughter. He can't quite get that touch in to cancel it. And now Mineski, they're looking for the second set of racks. The shackle is going to latch again, but look at this potato straining with the Sonic Wave onto S4. S4's going to go down. He'll buy back straight away. Cuckoo jumps across the Bulldog, takes down the Nature's Prophet. Now looks for Arcade. Arcade's going to fall as well. He's down, and now they try and turn towards Nuts. The damage is too much from Mineski. Double kill for Jesse Vash. S4 unloaded, the only ones left alive on the side of Alliance. The rest of the team do not have buybacks, and with 3 heroes dead, Mineski will now look to take the second set of racks. And Alliance, they're not going to be able to stop this one. This is going to be a second set of stronger creeps for Mineski. They will have their team back up in about 30 seconds, so maybe they'll have one more fight in them, but it's going to have to be the best bloody fight of their life.
At this point, the Dro just doesn't add anything to the lineup. Her damage is completely inconsequential. Look how little she does when she hits Cuckoo once. At one point, he had 60 armor. This is going to be mega creeps. They're trying their best, but they have to know at this point. 28 minute mega creeps.
They've just got to switch it up in game 2. They brought to game 1 was not the right thing to do against Mineski. And Mineski fully punished that.
It was just way too greedy.
Are fortified.
He's going to jump in. This is the final stance here for Alliance. Can they do it? The cast will come out, but the crush is out. It gets onto AK, forcing the side of Alliance right back to their fountain. S4, he's going to get taken Sonic Wave to the face, and GG's called. It's all too much for the Swedes, and Mineski take game 1, 31-6. Quite a performance there from the Filipinos. And as we keep saying, well, Alliance, they can't do that again if they want to try and take a game against these boys.
You can't pick that greedy. You had no heroes that could frontline for you. And the problem is that nobody could survive the Queen of Pain Slaughterer, much less the Huskar.
Yeah, the Huskar, we said at the beginning, the Huskar's even going to have an amazing game or be a non-factor, and that was an amazing game for the man.
And their entire team had an amazing game. The Slardar got a 12-minute Blink Dagger, the Queen of Pain got a 13-minute Orchid, a 10-minute